When the decision came out, there was silence in the music world. Arnel Pineda, who used to be the lead singer of the legendary band Journey, and a living example of overcoming adversity, was just given a life sentence without the possibility of parole by a court in San Francisco. This news shocked everyone, especially those who had seen him as the embodiment of the rags to riches dream, having gone from living on the streets of Manila to performing on the biggest stages in the world. Documentaries, interviews, and powerful performances have told Arnel's story over and over again, giving people a lot to think about. But all of a sudden everything fell apart. After many witnesses, pieces of evidence, and victims came forward, he was no longer the underdog hero. He was now at the center of a major criminal case. How could a figure of inspiration become a story that tells you to be careful? Better yet, what does this tell us about the truth behind all the glitz we want to believe? Arnel Pineda used to be the dream musician everyone wanted to be before his name became linked to tears and anger. Arnel was born and raised in Manila during a time of chaos. He only had a voice and a strong will to stay alive. During his childhood, he slept in parks at night, skipped meals, and sang for spare change on street corners. At the beginning of the 2000s, Pineda sang songs in bars and small events all over the Philippines. He was well known in the live music scene, but not to the rest of the world. Arnel Pineda never thought that his name would be shouted at Madison Square Garden or Wembley Arena just a few years later, not even himself. 2007 was a big year for change. Neil Schon, guitar legend and co-founder of Journey, was desperate to find a replacement for Steve Augury, who had just quit the band because of health problems. He was searching YouTube for hours. Out of the thousands of cover videos that were found, one blurry clip showed Pineda singing in a small bar. Without fail, he was singing a Journey hit with amazing accuracy. Sean said, "I got goosebumps. Not because of the skill, but because of how it made them feel. From the other side of the world, I could hear Steve Perry in the voice of a stranger." There was an email. Someone called. A few weeks later, Arnel Pineda, who had never been outside of the Philippines, was casting in front of the rock stars he had once looked up to from afar. Journey's choice caused a lot of debate at first. Some die-hard fans weren't sure. How could an Asian man who no one knows take the place of a star like Steve Perry? But as soon as Pineda took the stage during Journey's first tour with him, all worries went away. During the first few notes, the crowd was quiet, but then they exploded. A longtime fan said that they could feel the crowd's doubts and amazement change in real time. So we came to see Journey play music, but we stayed to see Rod and Elle. The album Revelation came out in 2008, using Arnel Pineda as the lead singer. The record went platinum, which was a big comeback for Journey. All 4 parts of the tour, North America, Europe and Asia, were completely sold out. Pineda did more than just make a lot of money. He also gained a lot of new friends, mostly from Asian communities and developing countries. He became a worldwide image of overcoming hardship. A short film called Don't Stop Believing, Every Man's Journey was made very quickly. It followed Arnel from Manila to the biggest stages in the world. The movie not only showed Pineda's journey, but it also made his story an example to millions of people who believed. If you are smart and have the chance, you can go far, no matter where you come from. But even when there is bright light, shadows are still there. Arnel Pineda was seen as a real-life fairy story by most people, but another side of him was slowly coming out. Everyone didn't want to believe it was true. The fall at the height of success. He was more than just the lead singer of Journey. When he was at the height of his fame, he was a live sign. In every conversation, he talked about his rags to riches story. At every performance, there were people with their phones raised to record every note. For Filipinos, he was a source of national pride. To everyone, he showed that if you worked hard, you could get to the top of society. The record Revelation kept getting good reviews, and every tour after that sold out. Some music magazines called him the new breath of Journey. Filmmakers said that Hollywood wouldn't dare write a story about him because it would be too perfect. But from that very moment on, the picture started to slowly break apart. Someone who used to work backstage for Journey filed a civil case in San Francisco court out of the blue in September 2022. The person who filed the suit said that Pineda had verbally harassed and threatened them during the 2019 tour. At first not many people were interested in the case. The people thought it was a personal issue. Even the band Journey spoke out in support of Pineda, and called for an open and thorough probe. Things began to change after only a few weeks. More women who had worked with the band, gone on tours, or been fans, and met them backstage started coming forward, after the case became public. They told stories that were eerily familiar, being put in special backstage areas on purpose, having private conversations with Pineda, hearing manipulative words, and seeing actions that they thought crossed the line between respect and exploitation. Rebecca Williams, a prosecutor, got the lawsuit, and called for a bigger probe right away. It started with a single accusation, but as we dug deeper, we saw a clear pattern of behavior that kept happening, she said. The charges were no longer just words. They turned into scary stories of being abused, manipulated emotionally, and taking advantage of fame. The claims about the Philippines, where Pineda was almost a national hero, made it even more serious. Some women, who were still teenagers at the time, said they were invited backstage to meet the band, but when they got there, they were separated from the group, and told about chances that would change their lives. One person, who I'll call Jane Doe number 3, told me I reminded him of himself because I was dreamy, and had no name. He told me he could help me, like how someone helped him before. At the same time, former security and backstage staff revealed that there was a way for female fans to be chosen during tours. The name for it was the backstage list. A former security guard spoke out. A small group of people were told, "This person gets a private meeting." At first we thought it was something only famous people could do. Now that I think about it, it gives me chills. The repeat of specifics, internal codes, promises, and the way that female fans were approached made a picture of a well-thought-out plan to trick them. There is a system that takes advantage of people's trust and admiration, especially young people, the weak and people from humble backgrounds, like Arnel did. This used to be seen as star privilege. Someone asked a hard question. Had the very idea of getting through hard times turned into a way to take advantage of people? Pineda's story of being inspired had been used as an excuse to make people think he was safe. The international media jumped in right away. There were separate investigations by major news sources like Rolling Stone, The Guardian, and CNN. They found more statements that matched, with details that could only have been known by the witnesses, who had actually been there. Journey was hit hard by the media storm. A lot of people stopped supporting the band. Tours were called off. Partners in the media broke up. Still, that was just the beginning. As the investigation went on, a trial started, and the public saw the whole truth, which was brutal and raw, the test for an icon. Arnel Pineda's hearing started for real, in June 2024, with dozens of cameras aimed at the courtroom doors. More than 50 reporters were there early. WhatsApp users quickly shared the hashtag justice for the fans. No one ever thought that Pineda's name would be linked to the word criminal, but as more and more proof and stories came out, the perfect picture of a musical hero fell apart. In the beginning, prosecutor Rebecca Williams read a long charge that listed specific cases, places, and years. Several pieces of physical proof backed up each detail. On the defendant's personal devices, experts found deleted text messages, pictures that had never been seen before, secret audio recordings, and even videos that had been deleted but were later recovered. The most important notes were from Pineda's laptop, which was thought to be where he recorded his fan meetings using a secret code. FBI experts agreed that those notes had descriptions of places, people's physical traits, feelings, and even plans, to get the victims to not say anything. Thomas Wilson, an FBI analyst, said, "This is not a celebrity's casual journal, this is a plan of action."